Imagine being just 13 years old and hiding in plain sight among the very people who wanted you dead. What if survival meant pretending to be one of them? Would you risk everything to fool the Nazis? This is not just a tale of survival. It's the astonishing true story of a Jewish boy who outwitted one of the most dangerous regimes in history by infiltrating the enemy's ranks. You're about to hear how one teenager, armed with nothing but courage and wit, survived the Holocaust by becoming what he feared most, a member of the Hitler Youth. If this story moves you, if it shocks you, inspires you, or simply makes you pause and reflect, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We have many more powerful, untold stories just like this. In 1938, in a quiet Polish town, a boy named Solomon Perel was born into a loving Jewish family. His parents owned a shoe store. Life was modest but peaceful. But everything changed when Hitler invaded Poland in 1939. The tanks rolled in. The skies were dark with smoke. The town was torn apart. Solomon was just 10. His family fled to the Soviet side of Poland, but the danger followed. When the Germans invaded the Soviet Union in 1941, Solomon's safety vanished. One night, as bombs fell and soldiers marched closer, Solomon's parents made a desperate decision. They sent him away, alone, to survive. "I don't want to go," Solomon cried. "I'm just a boy." "You must," his mother whispered, kissing his forehead. "You must live." That night, with a few belongings and a fake Soviet passport, Solomon ran. He had no idea where he was going, just away from death. Solomon tried to join a Soviet orphanage, pretending to be a war-displaced Russian boy. But in 1941, he was captured by the Germans near Grodno. They lined up the prisoners. One by one, they were questioned. "Name?" "Solomon Perel," he nearly said, but at the last second, something inside him clicked. "Joseph." "Joseph Pergel," he blurted out using a Germanized version of his name. The German officer paused. "German?" "Volksdeutscher," Solomon said, a term for ethnic Germans living outside Germany. He lied, claiming to have lost his papers in the bombing. Another soldier looked him over. "He's blonde, blue eyes. Let him be." That was it. In a twist of fate, a Nazi soldier handed Solomon a piece of bread and a uniform. He had passed. Solomon, a Jewish boy, had just been mistaken for an ethnic German. Rather than being shot or imprisoned, Solomon was adopted by the very people who would have killed him, sent to a Hitler Youth school for training. He was 13. In the dorms of the elite Hitlerjugend Academy, he was surrounded by boys who praised Hitler, sang Nazi songs, and shouted anti-Semitic slogans. "I hated them," Solomon later said, "but I had to become one of them to survive." He buried his past, even changing the way he walked and talked. He memorized Hitler's speeches. He learned Nazi ideology by heart. He even wore the swastika on his arm. Every night, he feared discovery. The showers terrified him. He was circumcised. One wrong move, one misplaced word, and he'd be dead. He lived two lives: Joseph, the proud German youth by day, and Solomon, the terrified Jewish boy by night. The Hitler Youth trained him to be loyal to the Reich. They sent him to interpret for German officers. At just 16, he was translating orders on the front lines. One day, a German officer praised him. "You're a true German patriot, Joseph," he smiled. Inside, his stomach churned. But Solomon's greatest test came when he was asked to help interrogate Soviet prisoners, many of them Jewish. One prisoner looked at him, eyes hollow. "Are you one of us?" the man whispered in Yiddish. Solomon flinched. "No." He whispered back in German. "I'm nothing." The man nodded. He understood. Solomon hated himself for what he had to do, but he knew if he saved even one Jew, his cover would be blown, and all would be lost. So he did nothing. The guilt would haunt him for the rest of his life. By 1945, as the Allies advanced, the Nazi regime collapsed. Solomon was captured by American troops. They treated him as a German prisoner of war. Ironically, that was what saved him again. Only after months of interrogation and documentation did he reveal the truth to a Jewish American officer. "I'm not Joseph," he whispered. "I'm Solomon. I'm a Jew." The officer stared at him for a long time, and then hugged him. "You survived," he said. "That's all that matters." Solomon eventually made his way to Israel. For years he struggled with his past. Ashamed of the lies he told, the life he led, the secrets he kept. But over time, he realized something deeper. He had survived, and in surviving, he had defied the very people who sought to erase him. Solomon Perel went on to write a book about his life, Europa, Europa, which was later adapted into an award-winning film. He didn't tell his story to seek fame. He told it so the world would remember what fear can do and what courage must do. Solomon's story is more than a historical account. It's a mirror, a challenge. What would you do if everything that defined you, your name, your faith, your family, had to be buried just to survive? His life reminds us that the lines between good and evil, truth and lies, survival and identity, are not always as clear as we think. If this story moved you, share it. Let Solomon's courage live on. Comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more stories of survival, bravery, and resilience in the face of darkness. Until next time, stay curious, stay human,